Three, two, and three, two, and one. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Conquering Dreams. Man, it's been good to be back, and a lot of stuff is really popping off, getting things off the ground, working on a new program based off the 7 laws of preparation. Man, just doing a lot of stuff here and working in my other businesses and just really just sitting and grinding and planning out for the future. And then me and my wife was talking, and then she was like, man, I'm tired. And then I was like, yeah, me too, but that's the importance of micro breaks. And then I got to think, I said, a lot of people really don't talk about that. But so here it is. I'm going to talk about micro breaks, right? So what is a micro break? It's really a small break. If you've ever noticed, like when watch sports or watch a basketball game, football game, or any type of game, if there's a long period of time where the game is going on, one of the coaches may call timeout to give the team a what? A break. So they can regroup, catch their breath, think about what's going on, maybe make some adjustments in the game plan, and get back on the court. It's not always strategic on like, oh, we got to call timeout to stop the other team's momentum or doing this, that, and the other. Sometimes it's just flat out, the team needs a break. Do you do that for yourself? Do you take a timeout or a micro break? And I'm not talking like the full 2 days of the weekend that you may be taking. I'm talking about during the week. Do you take micro breaks? Do you take micro breaks during the day? So, like, say for instance, if you go from 8 a.m. working to noon, which is 4 straight hours, right? Did you take any micro breaks in between there? Did you go get up from your desk, walk around, and just breathe a little bit? Or was you working, did you take a little break? It's important. And the reason why it's important is because it helps you clear your head and stops you from, get this, burning out. Yes, you can burn out if you keep going 100 miles per hour and no stop. Even a car that is electric has to take a time out and a break to be able to charge up or fill up. You have to do this. You cannot just keep going and going and going and going. Micro breaks are very important. If you watch now that the NFL has their training camp opening up, they have 2 or 3 practices during the course of a day. And then in between those practices, they have meetings, but they also have the all-important break. And even during practice, they don't just practice all the full 3 hours and it's all go. Like half of it is sitting around watching stuff go on break, even though you're physically in break, but they're mentally still kind of working because they're looking at the plays and stuff like that. My point here is you need to find some type of way to catch those micro breaks. Now, I know a lot of people don't smoke anymore, but people who smoke used to take micro breaks. They used to go outside and smoke, and then they would come back inside. That was really a micro break. A lot of managers didn't like it because they feel like they was taking too many smoke breaks, quote unquote, right? But there was still a micro break. But what can you do to have a micro break? So let's go over that. We already covered one, which is get up from your desk and just walk around. If you're in a big office, hey, take the stairs down to another floor beneath you, walk around, take about 10, 15 minutes tops, just walking around and just thinking about nothing. If you got a courtyard in your office complex, go out the courtyard, chill, look at the flowers, look at the trees blowing the wind, take in some fresh air, go back in, sit down at your desk, and hammer that stuff out. Those micro breaks are important. Another way to micro break, if you're an entrepreneur, which is easy and hard at the same time as an entrepreneur. Because the reason why I say it's easy and hard, because as an entrepreneur, you don't really have a set schedule. You make your own schedule. That could be detrimental to you if you're not really paying attention to what you are trying to accomplish and paying attention to your time management. Okay, so as an entrepreneur, if you have a business across town, and I mean business meeting across town that you need to be at, schedule to be there 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after. Reason why I say that is you want 15 minutes before, of course, because to be early is to be on time, but also gives you that time to have a micro break, clear your head before the meeting, and then also prepare yourself for that meeting. Then you have the meeting, and then 15 minutes afterwards, take 5 minutes to recap the meeting to yourself, right? To yourself, and then the other 10 minutes is a micro break. After you recapped it, sit for about 10 minutes and just kind of clear your head. Now, move on to the next task and move on to the next, coming back to your office or going over to your next meeting. Doing that helps you retain what happened in the meeting, keeps your brain healthy, keeps you healthy, keeps you from being stressed. You'll be amazed at how just that little bitty breaks before and after helps you tremendously stay focused on what you're trying to do. It's going to keep you from burning out. It also keeps you focused and planned ahead and on task. Because as you can tell, if you ever work on something and you don't ever take a micro break and you just full steam ahead, you kind of end up at the end of the day not being where you want to be. How often has that happened? Have you started out your day, you had great hopes about what was going to go on, and then next thing you know, and look at the end of your day, and you go to recap your day, you really get nothing accomplished. It's because you didn't take little micro breaks in there to find out where you at during your course of your day, what's going on, and say, okay, this is not what's supposed to be happening. I'm supposed to spend 2 hours on this. I spent 2.5 hours on this. Or I spent 30 minutes on this, and I was supposed to only spend 15 minutes on that. Taking micro breaks also helps you gauge where you're at during your day, on your calendar, and if you have an assistant, they probably will help you stay on task, but as most entrepreneurs starting out they don't have that assistant to keep them on task. So you have to be self-disciplined to be able to take those micro breaks, understand where you're at during the day, and then press forward so you can stay focused. At the end of the day, people, micro breaks help you stay focused on your task at hand. Now I'm gonna tell you some don'ts on what you don't want to do during your micro break. Micro break don'ts. Okay, here we go. Don't get on social media. And the reason I say don't get on social media on your micro break is because if you're an entrepreneur, social media could be work, and the social media could also be entertainment as well. So either work or entertainment, or like as Gary Vee would say, escapism, right? What happens when your 15 or 5 minutes micro break turns into a 2-hour deep dive on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, right? It could easily happen. The items are designed to keep you glued to your device. So don't pick up your phone and get on Instagram or Facebook or any type of social media during your micro break, because you run the chance of going over your micro break time limit, which is between 5 minutes to 15 minutes. And we've all done it. We've all got on Facebook. We've all got on Instagram. And then you look up an hour from now, wow, where did the time go? So that's a don't. Another don't is don't make a phone call during your micro break. Reason being, how often do you make a phone call during the day that only lasts 5 to 15 minutes that's worth anything? I'm not talking about a little checkup. I'm talking about like if you say, oh, I'm gonna take a break here and let me call the cable company because I need somebody to come out and fix my cable. That's a minimum of 30 minutes. Or let me call and set up this appointment, minimum 30 minutes. It's not a micro break. And then on top of that, you're doing an errand, a personal errand, but it's not a micro break. You